This is the Let's Be For Real podcast with Dove, and we are discussing today the load we carry, the importance of taking care of our mental health and physical health. So today we're talking to Dr. Evie Blue, LPC supervisor, and of course EDC, um, dope sister. So let me introduce her with her professional. We're gonna go with the extended version. We're gonna give her all the praise. Okay, she
Give,
does the
give me all
thing.
my flowers.
Okay. Dr. Ebony Blue is a highly qualified trauma-informed, board-certified licensed professional, counselor, supervisor, mental health therapist, resilient Black woman, mother, and entrepreneur in private practice. She is a proud HBCU alum of Prairie View A&M University, and Texas Southern University. Dr. Ebony B has always been deeply passionate about helping her community navigate their health and wellness. Her own journey of resilience has inspired her to channel her experiences and knowledge into creating a small business that promotes healing, growth, and empowerment for Black women through wellness, resources, and outreach. As mental health therapist, she advocates for Black women to understand the unique challenges they face. Dr. Ebony B's mission is to bridge the gap in mental health accessibility by offering culturally competent service through empowering community outreach and workshops that resonate with the unique experiences of Black women. Her vision is to create a safe space for Black women that promotes their healing and well-being. Hello, Dr. Ebony Blue.
Hello, Danica Dove. Thank you for having me.
No
I
problem,
love it.
sis. I
I'm
love
so
it.
excited.
It feels like I know I see you often, but it feels like a different type of reunion. Because in college, we used to get like real deep in conversation when it came to like women and power. And
Yes, ma'am.
so I'm in love with what you're doing. I'm in love with
Oh,
what
thank
you're
you.
doing. So
That
I'm,
means so much to me.
of course, of course, of course. So also give a little piggyback. This is my own yes, problem.
Yes,
And
we
so
uplifting the community for a very, very long time.
very long time. Been traveling for a minute. Matter of fact, my anniversary is November
Coming up.
5th. So today we'll be talking about the importance of that load that we carry. As Black women, we experience a lot throughout history. And a lot of times, I've been having conversations with a lot of my different clients as a hairstylist, as well as fitness, uh, enthusiasts. And so I think a lot of us discuss, the struggles with motherhood, dating, relationships, entrepreneurship, uh, working in corporate America, managing our mental health, trying to remain in our feminine energy, as people describe now, avoiding the masculine concepts that people try to, plug onto us, as well as living in that soft space. So I think with me and you talking often, I think I pay attention to your goal in helping women navigate who they are and how to be whole within themselves, not overwhelming what we do. So the first topic or question I want to ask you about is about the views that women have in leadership, entrepreneurship, and business. Is it possible for women to have it all, and then motherhood, career, business, and so much more with the expectations that we have? Is it possible?
Yes, yes. Love the question. And without a doubt, the answer is yes, it is possible to have it all. I just think it's very valuable for us as a community and a collective to redefine what success and having it all really looks like, and to make sure that that's being defined internally versus externally. Because there's so many expectations of what having it all should be or could be for each of us. It really is defined by our own personal experiences, our journey, our traumas, our family dynamics. There's just a lot to unpack with what it all means for you, or each of us as individuals.
So I think when I thought of this first question, I know I don't like to call myself a single mother because I have a co-parent,
Mm-hmm.
someone that works with me. So I'm a single woman with a child. Okay. I
Mm-hmm.
don't like to be considered a independent woman because I'm expected to be self-sufficient. I'm not going to expect someone to come in and be like, well, I don't need a man. I don't necessarily need a man. I would desire a man that's helpful. But in the capacity of me being a mother with a child, I have to, and it's so hard to say balance because there's really not a balance. there's going to be some overwhelm somewhere. But I work
Mhm.
out, I run a business, I cook, I clean, I run errands, I pick her up, I drop her off, and it feels sometimes, like nonstop. And so, as women, there comes that part where I actually had a conversation with my cousin about that masculine part. So there's
Mhm.
parts of me where I feel like I have to show my daughter that I'm protecting her because her father is in another relationship. He's married. So with her
Mhm.
in my household, I have to have some type of masculine form where it's like, yes, I'm a gun carrier. I have a security camera. When we're walking, I walk on the outside of the street, on the sidewalk. I sit with my back facing away from the door so that I can see the door so I can protect her. And so as a woman, there's those conversations where these women are in their masculine energy, but when you're in a relationship, the male roles seem to be, I guess you could say, more effeminate. So
Mhm.
how do we even introduce to women that we we want to be able to be more relaxed around men or even just around each other, but we still have to, have this guard of protection. How do we even tap into the relaxed part of who we are?
I think honestly, it starts with conversations like this. People are not advocating to protect Black women because it's a fad, it's a necessity. And it is about that balance between that divine masculine and feminine energy. But what does that really look like for a group of people who are discriminated against? There are so many predatory practices. We have no choice but to protect ourselves and each other. But I think it's so important for us, especially like in a home dynamic, as a girl mom, it's a little different for me as a boy mom. I'm teaching the young men in my household, as well as, my co-parent, that there are certain ways that you need to treat Black women because you have a Black mother and the
Mhm.
experiences that I've been exposed to. And I'm very vocal and honest with them about what it takes to be a man from the perspective of a woman, and then the opposite of that, what it takes as a man in a household with women, what the expectation is for them as a provider and a protector, what that really means. And it's not just providing the provision as far as money, but also protecting and spiritual growth and emotional protection, emotional provision, and things like that. With
Right.
us, especially in the environments we're in the US, and there are some crazy things that have gone on for Black women.
Yeah.
It's important to address misogynoir and how we can be absolutely hated before we even enter in the room because of how we look, our mannerisms, the way we wear our hair, our skin complexion, our features, all these different things that are painted to be inappropriate or villainized that get highlighted and celebrated in other communities. So I would say that softness comes in from that inner healing and that sense of wholeness and internal validation before we start to look to other communities or other people to tell us what is okay or what is professional or what safety and comfort feels like. I think back to like just human development. A baby has only so much it can see, and the sense of smell is very keen, and intuition or just innate sense of protection is the only thing it has to safeguard itself emotionally. Baby don't like you, it's gonna cry, get me out this person's arms, put me down, where my mama. And it's the same internally. We all have this intuitive guidance system that alerts us when we don't feel safe, when we don't feel protected, when we don't feel loved. And when we ignore that, we tend to go through experiences and we thicken up this outer shell to be extremely protective, and we toughen up and we put on a strong face or a facade, and people don't know, especially for Black women, what we're going through or how we're suffering because we are high achieving and high performing no matter what's going on. So it's really dismantling that, talking about it, connecting with each other, and knowing that some of the experiences we have are not failures. It may be our mental health, or it may be exhaustion, or the fact that we don't know what it's like to be soft or protected. And then having someone come in and not judge you for that, but uplift you and teach you or mentor you, or just dialogue with you about what it is that you need, and helping you fill in those voids for yourself before we start to get into relationships and dynamics where we start to give it to other people.
Mm. Look, one of the things and it's funny, I went and picked up gas, I put gas in my car today. And before I even left the pump, it was talking about how the effects of chronic health, chronic pain, chronic
Mm,
illness can
mhm.
actually affect how you can come from suppressed emotions. And
Yes.
so I literally I kind of cackled when I got the call. I was like, really? And it's funny because I thought about it because I had therapy this week. And one of the things I was talking to my therapist about was the attitudes about women all over social media, especially African American women.
Ooh.
And so one of the things I hear a lot about, especially African American women with black men and black men with, black women, about the healing. You need to go get healed. You need to seek out therapy. I ain't gonna lie, I'm doing the work because, baby, I done unearthed some things about myself. And I especially started therapy after my divorce. But I also know, too, I'm raising a young black woman. My daughter will be 15 at the end of the week. And one of the things I thought about was some of my childhood trauma, some of the
Mhm.
things I went through in my marriage, um, things that my daughter has witnessed over her 15 years of life that we talk about. And as I posted on social media, uh, I do things so that I can be better, so that you can be better than me. And so
Mhm.
with that, as I see the conversations about Black women, uh, I think sometimes I take no offense to the conversations, because if it doesn't apply to me, I'm not a part of that discussion. However, if there's things that I see that, okay, I can use that, I can seek out more knowledge about that information that's being shared, because everyone has a part to play in how things happen. So if Black women are experiencing pain, do even some of the Black men understand that they're contributing to that? If a Black man is aware that women are emotional, then why is it that you manipulate a woman to get what you want and then get mad when she acts a fool?
Mhm.
So as we look at social media today, do you think that there's a part in which the conversations that are being had are actually deeper than what they are, and they're just tapping the surface? Because the trauma is beyond just pointing fingers at one another, but digging deeper beyond, this is the hurt I've experienced with a man, but looking into your past, as childhood issues or even mother wounds, so that our mothers,
Mhm.
carried us in the womb, they experience stuff, and then it's hereditary from ancestral, concerns. What's your take
Yeah.
on that?
So with in general, collectively, we can't point fingers at each other. I feel like we have collective trauma,
Yeah.
racial trauma. We have all different things externally that go on for us. But the conversations as far as social media, I think we're just tapping the surface. Content, whether it's political or informative, it's surface level, it's curated, it's packaged for you for a topic to open up the dialogue or open up the insight for more research to validate or disqualify on your own. All of us have a cognitive ability to accept or reject things that don't resonate with us. But with the dialogue that people are having, it is so influential and people are digesting it. And that algorithm is reflective of what's going on internally. So,
Yeah.
you know, conversations where things are highlighted, like the shade room, it's made to provoke you. And it's not always the best or most positive perspective on Black culture. It's talking points or points to create engagement, things to make you angry, to go to the conversation in the comments and to say whatever and debate and go back and forth. Because the goal, no matter whether it's good press or bad press, if you polarize your community and get them talking, that is the goal. So in that sense, even the conversations that are offensive, like you said, to filter and say that doesn't apply to me, but to be aware it's going on is extremely valuable. But for us as a community, if we're uplifting each other and healing, doing that inner work and going to therapy is advocated for everyone. All of us can benefit from having a non-judgmental, safe environment to talk through the things we've been through. One, because it's very enlightening. Not that you need someone else to validate for you whether your experiences are real, but I believe when you sit down with a therapist, and it's even been my own experience as one, that there are things that you can normalize because it is your normal, but it's extremely traumatic or unhealthy. And for someone to tell you that the way that you are feeling isn't a problem for you, it's a problem environmentally, or it's a problem in your mindset, or, you know, like you said, genetic predisposition to anxiety or depression, or what PTSD looks like. If you've never been taught those things and emotional intelligence hasn't been normalized for us as a community, we're there to work. You know, we come from an enslaved people. So your thoughts and how you feel were never the important pivotal point of your presence. It was you working. So if you're busy in the business of doing something and you don't feel well, or your emotions start to manifest in you, or in, you know, therapeutic terms, you start to have somatic symptoms. So breaking out into hives, insomnia, loss of appetite, irritability, those things aren't you having an attitude or you being an angry Black woman. It's a sign or a symptom that there's something deeper going on. And then it's absolutely okay to take a moment and process that, not repress it, push it down, and just keep showing up. So if someone is pointing the finger and saying Black women are the problem, and it's not Black men, or Black men are the problem, and it's not them, it's society, it's the man, it's all these other components. It's like, take that time and figure out what's going on with you, because you have a purposeful presence. You weren't created by mistake. Even if your family dynamic is a little skewed, your presence is divine. So taking a moment to figure out what's going on in your own human experience to foster what will give you your abundance and having the best life that you design for yourself. Therapy and healing collectively is so important for that.
I think when I hear people have those conversations about therapy and healing, and it's like some people think healing is just once I figure it out, I'm done. No, it's going to be a continuous thing, because even in the process of my healing journey, the reason why I know it's a healing journey, because every now and then I still feel a trigger. And then I find myself working through certain types of therapeutic measures that my therapists have taught me. So I've had 3 therapists over the last 2 years, because they've all transitioned in their businesses, and that's okay. It hurts though, because it's a part of abandonment, which I struggled with as a child. So I was glad that the first therapist didn't properly do it, you know, as far as her leaving. The second therapist actually took the time to prepare me for the separation so I could work through it, and we talked along with the other issues I had before her last day. So I think even learning that, me being diagnosed with depression and anxiety, as along with other health issues such as arthritis, I've learned that a lot of my past hurts, childhood relationships, and throughout some stuff I didn't realize played a major impact on how I operated in relationships. Sometimes imposter syndrome, I was like, was I being somebody else passing by other people? Huh. That could play a part. Or other people were just happy to know that I was okay with accepting the relationship for what it was, based on whatever they could give me. I settled, versus I ain't cool with that. I don't go with that, you know. So I'm learning that even in relationships with other women, we're having more conversations about who we are and discovering ourselves, and that helps with how we proceed in relationships, especially with our male counterparts. So, as a mental health professional, what do you say, or what have you encouraged women to uh, discover about themselves in relation to relationships, whether it be family, friends, or what, you know? So,
Oh, girl. First, let me say that most of us, if we've ever been in a corporate setting, depending on the culture of the company, we've shrank to fit into someone else's ideal of what we should do, how we should respond, how we should perform. So That's something that is just very normal, especially when it's in a predominantly white environment, how we respond to things, how we speak, jokes and things that we find funny, that's an environment that we've been in. But as far as the journey, and what I encourage women to do with this process of healing, it's definitely to practice self-love and self-care. I've been seeing an influx of people advocating for solo dates, because doing these things for yourself, all the preparation for a significant other, be it a man or woman, whoever, doing it for yourself, I feel like if you know how good your love is, like just you know how good it feels to talk to you, to see you, to spend time with you, the things you enjoy, the things that make you laugh, what gets your spirit on fire, all of those things, once you really realize and come into a maturity or an awareness of how valuable that is internally, it makes dating a lot different because you're not settling for other people and what they want or what they need from you. You start to realize it's about reciprocity and what's more fulfilling.
Yeah, I have it's funny because I have made the habit of buying my own self flowers.
Yes.
Like
All the
this,
time.
that feeling of I deserve flowers. You know, as
Yeah.
a woman, sometimes we want to be treated well and be like, "You sent me flowers."
Mhm.
You know, and I've actually learned that sometimes just buying myself that treat. Sometimes just I got a $20 splurge on little something. You know, just that little effort in showing myself self love and appreciation that I deserve my
Mhm.
flowers. And sometimes we think we have to wait on others to show us what that looks like. But I think in that self love, knowing how to do it for myself, that I'm not waiting with an expectation of something because I'll be waiting forever. Because not everybody ain't gonna know your love language until they know how you love yourself.
Yeah. They got to see it. It's by example, and
Yeah.
the feeling, it's that feeling and the effort. You know what that energy looks like because you've experienced for yourself. Something external or outside of you isn't telling you that this is what love looks like or this is what love feels like. You know, with a confidence and an assurance because you've done it for yourself. That doesn't mean you don't get to enjoy the experience with another partner. It just really gives you a more stable foundation to make choices and decisions where you're not longing for something or someone else. It's really that longing is internal. You need that time and attention. You want to go and do something. You want to feel appreciated and valued. But if you're not giving it to yourself, that other person, even if they're amazing, they're just not going to fill that void for you. There's going to be something in there that's going to continue to shine that light. That's why we advocate doing shadow work, because there's always going to be a light to show you what's in the darkness, what's hiding in the back of the closet. Pull it out. Let's see it. Let's look at it, and let's love it unconditionally, because that's what you would want from your spouse or partner, is unconditional regard for who you are as an individual, including your flaws. But if you can't love that about yourself, how do we expect that from another person? How do we expect someone to make that energy to go give flowers on a regular basis if they don't even know how happy it makes you to get your flowers while you're living? So speaking up and knowing your truth is so powerful, especially in a romantic dynamic.
That's good. That's really good. Really. I think one of the things I'm also learning too, um, I'm enjoying spending time with my friends and the people that I feel like they actually value the time that I give and spend with them. We're
Mhm.
actually having the conversation about the growth we've made. I think now that we're in our 40s, you know, or at the cusp of 40, I think 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. And that those conversations of the things we've done in our 20s, if we knew then what we know now, we there's not necessarily regret, but it's the awareness of. And I think as the older you get, I don't even really feel like I'm in a midlife crisis, but the awareness of things I'm going to tolerate, things I'm not going to tolerate, the willingness to make the adjustments without, complaining. It's just, okay, I can handle it. Okay. I don't really find myself becoming easily angered or upset as I would have in my 20s. Like I would have fussed and cussed through a fit with trying to
Mhm.
make changes versus now it's relaxed. Well, okay, next thing, move right along. What's next? And so with that, I wanted to ask you as leading into women getting the help they need mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. What have what can you, I guess, say to encourage, inspire, or even give us some key tips as to how women can improve or make the efforts to be better?
Ooh, better. You're already amazing. So to know that first, definitely being aware of your internal dialogue. Most of us can go all day long without a positive compliment or some sort of confirmation from someone that we're valuable and we're seen.
Yeah.
So if no one else in the world sees you, see yourself, hear yourself, talk positive and so into yourself, to know that the thing that you believe is your weakness is actually one of your most divine strengths. That if you lean into that fear or that insecurity and really explore where that comes from, you'll find a new resilience that you didn't even know that you had. Always that we're divine and created for a reason. And the goal, no right or wrong, is to live your best life. God wants to have an experience through you that cannot be had through anyone else. And it's you eating the best foods. It's you taking care of your body. It's you learning the things you want to learn and sow into your brain. All of that, as far as the external world that you're experiencing, is a reflection of your internal processes, what you put into your body, how much sleep you get, the company you keep, the conversations you have. Learn to filter, and that going to therapy or seeking mental health and support is a sign of strength, not a sign of weakness. And more than anything, do not isolate. We are a community, and Black women are more likely to suffer in silence and alone when
Yeah.
something is wrong. They don't know, and they're trying to fix it on their own, and they're trying to get it together, and they got to take care of these kids, and they got to run errands and run a business and do all. But at the end of the day, if you don't take care of you and you're all you have, it's no one else's job but yours. So divinely step into that and unapologetically do whatever it is to keep you well. And if someone has an issue with it or they depart your life because of it, that's their part of the journey. Feel free to release them and detach and let them go, because everything you need is already waiting on you
Yeah.
to be ready to receive it. So that would be my biggest onus for women, is connect to a community, know your strengths and weakness are all for your good, because you're divine and you need you more than anything else that you're obligated to, including, as much as you love them, your littles. You need you more than they need you, because
Yeah.
without you, who's going to take care of them?
Yeah. That's right. That's definitely, because you on point with it all. Like at the end of the day, um, I know when I'm at my best self, I have the capacity to give a little bit more, but I also know I'm not going to deplete myself just to give everybody all of me, because I need all of me. You get pieces
Yes.
of me. And
Mhm.
so that ownership of who I am, loving myself, that has definitely been the part of where when I say I'm actually like can acknowledge. I said it to my best friend the other day. There's a different type of confidence I have in this space that I'm in. Like, can't tell me nothing. Like, this is my life. This is who I am. Those who are meant to be in it will be in it. And people, sometimes people say when things come back to you, receive it with open arms. But some things ain't meant to come back because they'll test you. Because some of them are
Yes.
still in the same space. May it be people, object, things. And the goal is to see where your head's at. If you're willing to accept it, especially if there's no growth. But if you're
Mhm.
growing, continue to move in that direction. Tell us where we can find you, Dr. Ebony Blue.
You can find me on my socials at Dr. Ebony B Info, or drebonybinfo.com is my website. I'm in private practice, so you can get information and reach out to us there, and we would be more than happy to share resources or referrals or get you in contact with a culturally competent mental health professional. If not me or my business partner, we'll definitely try to put you in connection with the right person to get you what you need.
Cool. So, of course, this is the first episode of season 3. So, we're bringing attention to cultural aspects of relationships, mental health, physical health, and so much more. So stay tuned weekly. Sunday night, 8 p.m. will be airing. You can find us on YouTube at Let's Be For Real Podcast, all your podcasting sites, Apple, Spotify, you name it, we're there. If you're looking for info, I will be creating an info tag for different businesses that are owned of the therapists, as well as I have a men's panel, a male therapist, as well as marriage panel, all this good stuff. So stay tuned and talk to you later, sis.
Peace.